Hello, ChatGPT. How to play ukulele? Can I just say the guys who did that? And I haven't actually found the video. I spent a whole hour yesterday trying to find them. The guys who made that sound, the two of them, they're just freaking brilliant. I mean, and it's not the accent. Obviously, you cannot not love the accent, but it's the way they feel each other's lines is just brilliant. And they definitely should be rich. Like I've seen like animated films using the sound. You should definitely give those two guys some money and make them richer. That's it. It's just brilliant. So natural also, and it brought me back to, like, it brought back such fond memories. About 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago, I spent 2 months straight with the filming crew going around, and the loveliest people from Kerala, and some from Mumbai as well. Um, just the loveliest people to be around, and everyone's sharing food, and everyone's sharing stories, and everyone's sharing their music. I think that is when I got into Bollywood music. Uh, so I've got a whole playlist that I play all the time when I drive. So yeah, um, how to play the ukulele. So one thing that um, is becoming obvious to me now is how little you have to press the strings. Because the initial tendency is to like press really hard, especially because if you're not looking carefully, your finger will not be placed right in the middle, or at least, or closer to the fret would be ideal, but at least right in the middle. So obviously the tendency is to press harder, because otherwise you don't. But you literally just have to lightly press on it, just enough for it to touch the next fret down. These words are very difficult. So I think altogether probably a whole hour of practice. Finally able to play the note in the key of G major, almost without looking at the frets. Look at that. But that is only possible thanks to something like this. So if you happen to, is this in focus? If you're looking to learn a string instrument of any kind, you need to be able to look at something like this, so that when you're memorizing, where you're getting your hand and your brain to know what they're doing, it's a lot easier than looking at this. And obviously when you see the notes like physically on paper, you then memorize it easier. Like for example, right now, I know that G is going to be on this. So that is very useful. And another thing that I've been working on is, because the ukulele has 4 strings, obviously when there's more strings, things get a little bit difficult, or different, I would say. So because the ukulele has 4 strings, these 4 fingers can play sound out of tune, this one, but apparently it is in tune. So yeah, these 4 fingers can play each of these strings, and it's a very handy habit to make, I think, I would say. Obviously when you don't have long nails, it's a little bit more difficult to play them. But with time, I bet that with time you can actually learn to pluck them in a very efficient way. So yeah, between your right hand playing each of these strings with each finger, and your left hand being positioned in very specific positions. So this is for a beginner. Obviously, as you get more advanced, I would guess that things get very complex and blend a lot more. But to begin with, yeah, your first position, like for your hand, is each finger on one of these frets, so 1, 2, 3, 4. very clunky the second time around. When you think about it, it suddenly becomes more difficult. That's why you want to get your skill level to the point where you're not thinking about it that much. You kind of just do it. And that can only happen if you repeat it over and over again. And with the help of a chart like that, it's definitely going to happen. So yeah.